All right, we back with another one. This one's gonna be we're gonna put our boy Goku in the DC universe, but in this time we're gonna do it to where Goku and Superman are raised as brothers, man. I got a lot of plans for this one. I already got an idea in my head. You know, I'm just gonna let y'all know it ain't gonna be in this episode, but you know, let's just say that a show that we all grew up watching is gonna be in the future for this what if, man. All right, so let's get to it. Y'all know the classic story of you know, our boy Kal-El being sent from Krypton when it's about to be destroyed, and him going sent to Earth where he lands on the Clark Kent farm. All that still happens. We got our baby boy. Krypton in the background. It got wasted, and our boy Kal-El is getting sent. Who we later gets renamed Clark. He gets resent to Earth, and where he's found by the Kents. All right, all that's still the same. All right, so afterwards, Clark Kent, he's raised up pretty much kind of normal. I kind of based this for those of you that read comics. I kind of based it a little bit, mostly based on the Superman comic. I think it was called Superman Secret Origins. All right, check that out. It's a good read. But all right, so Clark grows up, kind of relatively normal, and in this instance, I'm making Clark about 5 or 6 years older than Goku. All right, in this verse. All right, so Clark's not really fitting in school. He's kind of seen as the oddball in. He's kind of starting to discover himself. He's discovering a little bit of powers, but nothing too crazy. But his dad and his mom, they cheering him up all the time. Pa Kent and Ma Kent, they cheering him up. Growing up in Smallville. Well, one day, and here we go. All right, so one day he's playing football, right? And the guy, tells him to go long, goes to throw a Hail Mary pass. And as Clark Kent looks up, he sees the football, but due to his Kryptonian eyes, he sees something past the football. Something that to someone else it just looks like the sun, but he sees something keying in on something. All right, it looks like some type of meteoroid or something. As he looks in, he's looking at the at what he sees. All right, and at the same time, Ma Kent and Pa Kent, they see, also known as Jonathan, I believe it's Jonathan Kent and Martha Kent. They also see something as well. Off in the distance, it just skipped the farm going past. All right, so Superman, instead of catching the football, he just continues to run because he's like, oh man, that's going towards the farm. So he just takes off running, leaving the football. Everybody else is like, hey, where you going, Clark? The game ain't over yet. So it's at that point where the meteoroid crashes, and then that's when they all kind of meet there at the same time. Clark gets there first, of course, but he just kind of waits for his parents to come in here, his adoptive parents, and then they realize that this isn't a meteoroid at all, but it's a spaceship. All right, of course, we know this spaceship is the Saiyan pod, which contains the Saiyan baby Kakarot inside. Right? All right, so Clark is just awestruck, looking at it. And then that's when Clark decides to pick up the boy himself. picked up the unnamed child. And he's basically they're about to take him in. And this is kind of cool. I'm gonna mention this. Some of you probably didn't notice, but Clark's gonna say they're thinking like, oh, what are we gonna name him? And Clark says, oh, we're gonna name him Goku. Now I know a lot of people would probably say, why would you name this kid Goku? I mean, he landed in a farm and this and that. Well, we're gonna say that Clark, because Clark he likes to read a little bit. Clark was reading, and he was reading one of the fictional novels where it mentioned Goku. And for those of you that don't know, this is kind of funny. Look at this. Dragon Ball Z is mentioned in DC Comics. I'm gonna show a snippet, or I'm gonna show a part of the comic, right? Where is it at? See this? Anytime you do this, you run the risk of going Super Saiyan, hurting yourself or anyone around you. So, so the word Super Saiyan was mentioned in an actual comic, man. Isn't that crazy? So we're gonna say Clark was reading, and he read that part. And he read about the legends of Goku. And let's just say that the comic books that they read are similar to the Dragon Ball Z canon, so that's kind of crazy. And they name him Goku. All right, but this is what their Goku looks like in the comics. Let's just say that. All right, so back to this. Back to the baby. Clark says, "Oh, we're gonna name him Goku." It reminds me after the comic I read. All right, and then that's when Jonathan and Martha Kent are like, "Oh, Goku, that's a good name." And they keep it moving. They take him in, and meanwhile, they're just sitting there contemplating and really thinking, like, "Wow, 10 years ago we were trying to have a kid so bad, and now we've had 2 kids sent from the heavens, man." All right, we had our first son, Clark, sent from the heavens, and Goku was sent from the heavens, man. So that's just crazy how life works, and that's what they're thinking about. So reading on. So now they grow up together. You got Clark and Goku. They growing up on the farm together. Doing what kids do. Bonding and whatnot. Alright, Goku's a strange child though. Alright, and let's just say the wreckage he hit when Goku landed, it might have caused a little bit of trauma. It may or may not have altered his personality. We don't know. We don't know yet. But Goku grows up a little different than other kids, and they notice it, but they love him regardless, man, because he's a good spirit. He's high energy, He didn't really let anything bring him down. Clark's more of a smart kid, and I would say less. I ain't gonna say less talkative, because we all know Superman. He's the epitome of a good guy. But him and Goku have different personalities. All right, and a key difference in their upbringing is going to be while Clark. The key difference between these two is when Clark, he goes to school and whatnot. Clark goes to school, but Goku's going to be homeschooled. All right, why? Because of his tail, man. So they think it best to just let Goku be homeschooled. So Goku's going to be homeschooled, raised on the farm. As Clark goes to school, Goku's going to be at home. And Goku really doesn't care, because as long as Goku has his brother Clark, and his family, he really doesn't care. Goku, which is so like Goku. Like some people might say, like, oh well, why wouldn't Goku care? Well, you got to think about Goku and canonly, when he was raised by Grandpa Gohan, he was raised with him and Grandpa Gohan for years. He never even saw another person until Bulma arrived, and at that time he was 12 years old. All right, so it ain't really no big deal. He's getting homeschooled, and Clark's going out there. They're both being raised to be good kids on the farm. And it's at this point where Clark begins to tell, what's her name? Lana Lang, that he has a brother. She's like, oh, really? This and that. And Clark tells Lana that he has powers, because Superman's still discovering his powers and whatnot. I should also begin to mention, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but it was at this time where they told Clark Kent, when Goku landed, they told Clark that he also was an alien. I'm going to do a flashback scene on that at another time. It's going to be pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, Clark tells Lana, I have a brother. His name's Goku. She's like, oh, I'd like to see him sometime. He's like, maybe. You never know. Meanwhile, they're just still growing up. Clark's being older than Goku. He plays the role of the big brother figure, somebody Goku looks up to, because Goku looks at Clark like he's super strong, man. He's always trying to get to his level. Meanwhile, Clark's just, oh yeah, maybe someday, Goku, And it's at this point where Lana's in danger, or Tom comes back after this scene, and they both love Ma Kent's food, of course. And a couple days go by, and Lana almost gets attacked by a train. It's at this point where Clark gets in the way of said tractor. I said train, but I meant tractor, and blocks it off. And that's when the blades get messed up. And then Clark realizes, oh wow, I'm stronger than steel. And then the farmer's just like, what on earth? So now he's learning about his durability. And it's at this time where Goku, since he didn't go to school, he had other times of keeping up with things to do at home. So Goku, he watches kung fu movies, he watches martial arts movies in general through the television, and he helps Pa with the farm, but he doesn't use the he doesn't use the tractor or anything. He plows the fields by himself, similar to what he did in Master Roshi's training. All right, and after this event, Clark shows up with torn clothes, and Goku greets him. And that's where he tells him, "Hey, Goku, man, I'm stronger than steel." And he starts flexing. And then, Goku being Goku's like, "Wow, man, I always knew you were special, Clark." All right, and it's at this point where Clark starts to begin, I should really start to help people, man. Like, I should become like a superhero. So he tells his parents about it, and Goku's just listening in, and they think it's a good idea. Clark, oh, yeah, you should always use your abilities to help good people, the classic Superman thing. And it's at that point where, he lifts up Pa Kent, once again showing off his super strength. He's so hyped that he's able to be stronger than steel and whatnot, and wants to be a superhero. It's at this point where Ma Kent makes him the first Superman outfit. All right, and he puts it on, and he's embarrassed. He's like, this is a little too tight. And then, so while they're doing all that, Ma Kent's like, "Do you want me to make you a costume too, Goku?" Goku kind of thinking about it, and he's like, "Oh, nah, I'm not really interested in being a hero." Which is so like Goku, because for those of you that know Goku, he's not really a hero, especially in the Universal Arc tournament in Dragon Ball Super. When I was growing up, I used to look at Goku as a hero, but after the Universe tournament arc, I was like, "Oh, nah." That's another video for another day though. But yeah, he's like, "I'm not really interested in being a superhero like Clark, But there is one thing that Goku's interested in, and that's all the cool abilities that Clark has. He's enamored by it. He's amazed. Clark can see bones. He can see through people like an X-ray. He can see through walls. He has laser vision. He shoots through a wall, which he discovered when he got his first kiss from Lana, so he could shoot a laser at a wall. And Goku's just amazed at that. And just like he did in Dragon Ball, Goku's like, "Oh man, can I do that?" And Goku's like, "I don't think that's how it works." And then that's when Goku actually shoots a laser beam out of his own eye as well. Now you gotta remember, people in Dragon Ball Z have been known to use lasers or eye lasers themselves. I can think of some people off the top: King Piccolo, Frieza, Cooler, Slug. And Goku did it one time too. Y'all can look it up. It's when Goku used his eye beams to bury Vegeta. Y'all remember that scene? Look it up. I should have included it, but y'all can look that up. And just like how when Goku used the Kamehameha for the first time after looking from Roshi, because he's a natural, he uses his own laser beams and destroys a piece of the tractor. So he actually did it, man. And Clark's just like, this little brother's full of surprises. Now as Clark gets used to becoming taking up this superhero mantle thing, he's still a teenager, by the way. So he starts getting seen on news as Superboy, and Goku's just watching from the TV, because remember, Goku sits at home and watches TV when he's not busy working. All right, so he sees the escapades of Superman, which is his older brother Clark, doing things like lifting up cars from crashes and this and that. And he starts doing those same things at home, picking up tractors and cars and picking up the pickup truck and all types of stuff, trying to get as strong as his brother. And it's at this point where Clark's getting a name for himself that Goku starts challenging Clark to sparring matches. But Clark doesn't really see it as sparring; he just sees it as playing with his little brother. But Goku's actually trying to train and get stronger, because Clark isn't really interested in fighting like that. So they fight from time to time. I ain't gonna say that. I use this picture because I'm not a good artist, so I use this picture. Shout out to this guy, Gine Berboot. But he really wouldn't be using a Kamehameha at this point. He'd be using like lasers along with his brother. But I couldn't really put that in this photo because I'm not a artist. So anyway, as they're training, they get used to training and whatnot. Sometimes Goku gets injured, from their training, because Clark doesn't know his own strength. So he gets injured, hit with laser beams. And Clark, he gets nervous, like, "Oh man, Goku, I'm sorry, this and that." And then Goku's just taking beatings. And Goku likes it, man. So Superman's like, "Oh man, I'm sorry about that," And Goku's like, "Oh nah, man, let's keep going." So Superman notices that Goku's got a lot of tenacity, man. And he thinks in his mind, man, Goku would be a real good hero. He just doesn't, if he just applied himself. But Goku still isn't interested in that at all. So he gets older as a teenager. He's in his teens. And he starts doing more superhero escapades. And Clark is still seeing it. Goku has a phone at this time, and Goku's just hyped like, "Yo, man, that's that's my brother, man. He's getting stronger." And then he actually gets a little anxious. He's like, "Oh man, am I getting left behind?" Because you gotta remember, Goku is at the farm the whole time, while Superman is out here on picking up cars and this and that. He's getting stronger. He's getting older, meaning he's getting stronger. His Kryptonian abilities are coming more and more. And Goku starts to think to himself, man, I'm getting left behind. And that's when he thinks, oh, man, I'll just be just like Clark and I'll go see the world too. And Goku being spontaneous, he really doesn't tell people things he's about to do. Like, I'll give you an example. When he took Oob to train, he kind of just went with him. Goku's always been like that. But, or when they wanted to wish him back from after the Cell arc, he was like, nah. So Goku, always being spontaneous, he decides to write a letter to his parents and Clark, telling them, I'm going to go travel the world, and then he heads out, leaving a note, and the family is just like, oh man, I really hope Goku's okay, and Superman comes back from doing his job. Or doing something, I don't know, he just saved the school bus or something, let's say that. Comes back and he finds his parents looking out in the sky. And they tell him that, Goku took off. And Superman's like, wait, what? And then he flies away. Eventually catching up to Goku, alright, and the wind's blowing. There's a strong gust of wind blowing in Smallville. And Goku's just hovering over him saying, so where are you going? And then it's just silence, man. Enough silence to break the room, man. Right? And then they look at each other, and it seems like a battle's about to ensue. The wind's blowing, it looks like a battle's about to ensue. And then, he just gives him a nod of the head and a smile, and Goku gives him a thumbs up, And that's when Goku says, hey, man, one day, I'm gonna show you how strong I want to get. And Goku and Clark's like, oh yeah, I bet, I bet. And I'm gonna kind of have a flashback in a future episode as well, where this conversation is gonna be more deep than what I'm letting on. But right now, that's how I'm gonna go. All right, and that's when Clark comes back, and these are understanding people. His grandparents are very understanding people, so they said, oh well, Goku's gonna have to go find himself. Mind you, this Goku that we see is around the age that he was when he met Bulma in the original Dragon Ball. He is 12 years old. So he takes off at, I'm going to say 13 years old. He's 13 years old. So that's when Goku takes off. All right, I'll say 12 going on 13. That really doesn't matter that much. But anyway, so he flies off. As he flies, going back to here when they gave the thumbs up, he flies away. And Goku looks at his brother like, oh man, he's gotten really strong. I can already tell that he's going to be even more stronger in the future. I gotta really train hard. Alright, but as Superman's flying away and Goku's looking up at the sky, he sees something else and his face turns serious. He sees something coming towards the earth. Alright, things are falling towards the earth. So Goku goes to go see what it is, and where he lands in where he finds craters of something, some type of material. It's a rock. It's a green rock, which y'all already know what this rock is. So he picks it up. He's like, wow, this is crazy. It's super shiny. I wonder where it came from. All right. And at the same time, you got a boy being bullied by his dad, running away, saying, you have nowhere else to go. So he's just booking it. This is at the same time that Goku finds the rock. So Goku picks up the rock and he walks away, continued on to his journey, not knowing where to start from. Right? And then that's when this guy runs into Goku and kind of pushes him back a little bit. And Goku's like, whoa, man, what's the hurry? And the kid's crying and whatnot. And Goku's looking at him like, whoa, man, whatever your problem is, man, it'll get better, man. You just got to push on. You got to be like me. You got to get better than you were yesterday. That's what I've been doing. My older brother is stronger than me, and one day I'm going to try to be as strong as him. All right, that's you tell him all that for this kid that ran up into him. All right, and it's at this time he said, you know what, to cheer you up, I just found something. You can have it. I just found something from the field. You can have it. And that's when he gives him the green rock that he found, which the kid in question then looks at it and he's like, oh, that's fantastic. That's remarkable. And Goku's like, really? It just looks like a rock to me. Typical Goku. And then he's just like, do you believe in extraterrestrials, Goku? And he's like, well, he could say, well, people always thought I was strange, so why couldn't there be other things out there? And then he says, what's your name? And that's in the moment where he says, oh, my name's Goku. And then Goku says, so what's your name? And that's when he says, my name's Lex Luthor. All right, and Lex Luthor's sitting here thinking about the time this kid gave him the rock, saying, oh, I wonder what he's up to today, right? And little did Goku know who he just gave that rock to. So Lex introduces himself to Goku. Goku introduces himself to him. And Goku's not knowing that he just met two people that are going to play a big impact in his life, in the near future. Or in the future, of DC Comics. Alright, so that's the first part of what if Goku landed in the DC world. Really, what if Goku and Superman were brothers. Really a mix of both. So let me know what you guys think. I'd like some suggestions. Let me know what you think this is going to go. This story is going to go. Be sure you like, comment, subscribe, and most of all, share. And I'm gone.